morning, everybody. How are you? The devilishly handsome Ian Dixon. Good morning, sir.
Shut up, for fuck's sake. Jesus.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show, Wise Up, Rise Up Show with me, your host, Dani Wallace. I hope you are feeling good this morning. Welcome to Wise Up Wednesday. Something a little bit exciting is happening this morning. We are not only are we live on the Queen Bee Dani page on Facebook, not only are we live in the Hive, not only are we live over on YouTube, we are live officially on LinkedIn. So I would love to know. I know it's going to take a few weeks to get some traction on this, but I would love to know if you are joining us from LinkedIn, if you are new to the Show Up, Wise Up, Rise Up show. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I just want to check a couple of things before we get into the flow of the show today. Can I check? Am I coming through loud and clear? Can you hear me okay? Because they have been it's been very interesting with regards to sound. I've got a new little setup down here, and I want to make sure it's sounding right. So if it's going to sound right, then I'm going to hop off and join from LinkedIn. Yes, Danielle, thank you so much. Taking over the world. I love it. Let's have a look. Who's here this morning? Amy Blaney in the house. Good morning, my angel. Good morning, Danielle Hansen for Pretty Practical Business. Also, my wing woman and ops manager for IATQB. Emma Roscoe in the house. Are you coming through to us, Emma, from London? Let us know. I saw you on the train yesterday with the gorgeous Michelle. It's been a while. Am I going to the business networking show? I am not. And the reason I am not, my darling Andrew, is because we are full steam ahead, getting prepared for Be Inspired, which is my incredible personal development and business event, which is happening at the end of this month on the 30th of September and the 1st of October in Manchester at the Impossible. So excited for that. Things are hotting up now. I am unapologetic about how much I'm going to be banging the drum of Be Inspired over the next couple of weeks. It is going to be incredible. Gabriella, you're saying, yes, I can hear you okay. Yes, thank goodness for that. So, oh my goodness, you're here on LinkedIn. I love it. If you are watching on LinkedIn, please do let me know. If we haven't met before, apologies to those of you that are sort of show fans that watch the show regularly. But for the purpose of our new viewers, there's a tiny, to be honest, there's a tiny background mic sound, but otherwise we can hear your voice clearly. Okay, cool. Hello, Louisa Heritage is watching through on LinkedIn. Fantastic. Thank you so much. If you are on LinkedIn, please do go and join us over on LinkedIn and help us push our little traction algorithm situation out there. So if you are new to the show, welcome to the Show Up, Wise Up, Rise Up show. I am your host, Dani Wallace. I am Queen Bee. I'm a public speaking coach and fearless leader of the IATQB movement, the I Am the Queen Bee movement, which is much less actually about me being the Queen Bee and much more about you guys taking back your birthright, much in the way the Queen has apparently a seemingly birthright to the throne. However you look at it, whether you're a royalist or not, I was like pretty annoyed that I was born on the Council Estates of Preston and my birthright seemed to be saying no. Like my birthright seemed to be not having enough. And I really took, I was very objectional towards that. I was really annoyed. I've got to be careful because I don't think I'm allowed to swear over on LinkedIn. I was pissed off is what I was when I found out that actually, you know, your birthright is happiness, is wealth, is success. You've just got to be sometimes a little bit more tenacious about finding it. And that's one of the reasons why the Show Up, Wise Up, Rise Up show is here. The whole concept of showing up, wising up and rising up. If we reverse engineer that a little bit, rising up is your version of success. Whatever that is, that could be more money. It could be more time with the kids. And we're going to be talking about versions of success today with our incredible guest. Nikki Collinson-Phenix is going to be joining us in just a couple of minutes' time. But in order to achieve that success, two things have got to happen. One is you've got to learn what it is you need to do in order to get to where it is that you're going. Yeah. You can't know what you don't know. And again, this is something that we're going to be sharing and talking about specifically today, with regards to showing up, wising up, and rising up, and how Nikki is doing what she's doing today. I'm not going to give anything away just yet. She's going to join us in just a minute. So we've got this rising up, this goal setting, this intentional movement towards whatever it is our versions of success are. And in order to get there, like a mathematical equation, we've got wise it up. We need to learn what we need to know in order to get there. And we might do that via mentors or coaches, or we might do that by reading and learning, engaging in programs, engaging in courses, going back to school, going back to uni, taking work experience, whatever it is that you need to do. Whatever it is that you need to do in order to learn what you need to learn in order to get to where it is you need to go. The second thing that you need to do, and it's imperative, is show the F up. Showing up consistently, taking intentional action in order to get to where it is that you're going. The two need to be done together. You could be very, very informed. You could be what I would call a knowledgeable fool and not be taking any action. You're not reaching those goals. You're not hitting those success points that you want. All right. If you're showing up every day, one of my friends, Bob Burton, would say you're huffing and puffing and saying nothing. You're turning up and you're not actually doing anything constructive or strategic in order to get to where it is that you want to be. So the two together is the recipe for success. And that is what the show, Rise Up Show, is all about, which brings me to a Wednesday. So on a Wednesday, we have the Wise Up section of the Show Up, Wise Up, Rise Up show. So the show is in 3 sections. The first one on a Monday is over on Facebook, where we set our intentions for the week. We check in with each other on the show. We have a conversation, have a peek behind the curtain with regards to what's happening at IATQB HQ. And then we set our intentions together for the week. It's great to be a part of a community that is accountable, so we know. So I know the things that Emma Roscoe, say, for example, is getting up to. I know the things that Kathy is up to, for example. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Kathy. It's been incredible working with you, specifically on LinkedIn as well. I know you've got some exciting things that you're doing right now. It's been incredible knowing what everyone as part of the community is setting themselves so that we can be accountable to each other. We've got this great sense of community. Wednesdays is about wising up, about learning the things that we want to know. And then at the end of the week, it's a celebration of rising up, celebrating the things that we've achieved in the week and getting set up for the next week coming. So that's what the show at Rise Up show is all about. It originally started at the beginning of the very first lockdown version 1.0, when nobody knew what the F was going on. And I realized that there was going to be a very real issue around me getting up in the morning. So what I did was I just started to get up in the morning, 8 o'clock, I would go live, put my makeup on, get ready for the day, and talk about what my plans were. And that suddenly grew. It grew quite quickly into me bringing on incredible people to interview 5 days a week. So all the way through lockdown for 18 months, I was interviewing 5 people a week all the way through. We were talking about business development, personal development, spiritual development, emotional development, all of the things actually that could create a really beautiful, really rounded life, really allowing people to come to the platform and share their expertise, not just getting any Tom, Dick and Harry off of the street, but actually bringing phenomenal people. And then at the end, towards the end of lockdown, I realized that actually sustainably having 5 guests on a week is a lot of work. So I've got a multiple 6-figure business with my public speaking coaching. Now, that's okay. That's brilliant and amazing. But to try and keep track of 5 guests a week, fresh guests every week, was really hard. So we condensed it down a little bit so that we're going to get one incredible guest on every week, share it all the way across the platforms, give you great, really fantastic, concentrated experts with a theme every week. And we're just growing that now right the way across the platform. So I'm so excited. If you are joining us from LinkedIn, welcome. If you are joining us from Facebook, which is our home, what's up, bitches? I hope you're all right. Thank you for joining us. So today's show is about, it sounds really glib when I say this. It's going to sound really glib, but today's show is about living your dream. And when I say living your dream or stepping into your version of success, this person, I've known this person for a couple of years, and from the very moment that we met, we became very, very close. We became really great friends. But what really inspired me about this person was just how driven she was, and what she was willing to do in order to get to where it was that she really wanted to get to. And let her explain that. But what makes those people that hit that rise up part of themselves, that hit that success, whatever that success means to them, they are willing to do the thing that which the normal person is not willing to do in order to get the things that they want. And I don't mean anything illegal. I just mean doing the learning and doing the growing and doing the showing up. So it's my intention to bring to you as many people who fit that bill as possible, from as diverse a background as possible. So if you know people who fit that bill, if you know particularly people of colour, people from members of the LGBTQ community, people from different cultures, different backgrounds, please do get into my DMs and let me know about those people. And then hopefully we can have a conversation and bring them onto the show and share that with you. How long have I been a speaker for? Officially 3 years in the speaking world, Emily. But I've been in corporate for 15 years. So before that, I was a singer, and I've been a singer since I was 7 years old. So I've been on stage and hosting since I was about 14, 15. So there's quite a bit of experience. I'm now pushing 40. So it's been quite some time sort of speaking in that. I can't believe I just said I'm pushing 40. I'm in my late 30s, babes, is where I am. I'm in my late 30s. So yeah, I've been a speaker on the circuit, speaking online and offline globally now for about 3 years, as a strong revenue stream for me and my business. But teaching and sharing how to speak in public is actually my is the fire in my belly, is helping people who are hiding behind their businesses or their brands and not standing in front of it. Connection now more than ever is the most important thing when it comes to business. People want to be closer to the means of what it is that they're getting, and this person is phenomenal at doing this. So without further ado, please let me welcome onto the show. She is a phenomenal therapist. She helps people within therapy businesses build their businesses, and now she is circumnavigating the globe with her family of 4 in tow whilst running a business and a phenomenal charity. Please welcome to the show my darling friend, Nikki Collinson-Phenix. Good morning.
Good morning. #SnotBuddy.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that. So so Nikki is me, and Nikki, we refer to each other as Snot Buddy because we were in a mastermind a couple of years ago, and one of the very first things that you and I had to do together was go up to the top of a whole bunch of trees and do some like go ape type stuff, which wasn't something I was very comfortable with, and I'd never had anyone help me before, so I was sort of trying to battle through this situation on my own, and I'm feeling really scared and feeling really scared of heights, and you really held my hand, and for the first time in a long time, you genuinely just helped me and held my hand, and it made me cry, and I snot cried.
She's not cried, like full on. It's not cried, and then we said that was it. That was the ceiling of the friendship. So
was the snot
quite high up a tree? We sealed the friendship. And also, I'm really excited about the Be Inspired coming up, because I was also incredibly privileged to be on the very first stage of Be Inspired.
I got a little throwback for you. I was just working out how to do it. I've got a little throwback for you. I was trying to work out how to share my screen on here and do it well. I'm absolutely petrified. Now I've been given the opportunity to share on LinkedIn, I don't want them to take it away from me. I'm like, oh, I love it over there. Like, I want to be hanging out. So I have got, where is it? Here it is. Here is a picture of you on the Be Inspired stage, February last year, with baby Nikki. Look at baby Nikki.
Baby Nikki.
Which it was a phenomenal experience. It really was a great experience, and just such a joy to have you on the Be Inspired stage. But my goodness, life has changed for you in the past 2 years, has it not?
It certainly has, and it's changed dramatically in the last 5 days.
In the last 5 days, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted to speak to you today, because lots of people in the entrepreneurial space talk about the laptop lifestyle, or the fact that they can pick up their business and do it around the globe. And for some of that, it's a little bit of a fallacy. So some people will pack up because they're able to, and go somewhere that's really, really cheap to live and look like they're living like kings and queens, but actually it's just really, really cheap to live there. There is a fallacy around, I talk about laptop lifestyles and not all this beach laptop lifestyle. You know, you get sand in places that maybe you don't particularly want sand. It looks sexier than maybe it is in real life.
It's not all the glam, is it?
No, absolutely not. But you have done something a little bit different. But before you tell us what you've done, tell us about where you've been. Tell us about what it is that you do.
Okay, so hello everyone. I'm really, really chuffed to be here on Dani's show, and I am completely loving this new format of the show. It's just absolutely amazing. So, and congratulations being on LinkedIn as well. Firstly, let's get that one in the bag.
That's totally thanks to Catherine Ann Byam, by the way, has assisted me in getting that done. So go, Catherine. She's incredible.
You rock. So basically, so historically then I was a bank manager. I was very, very bored bank manager, kind of fell into being a bank manager, didn't want to be one. What I really wanted to do, had my epiphany in my early 20s and became a chiropractor, became a veterinary chiropractor. And there's very few professions where you can work with people and animals, but that was my thing. That was my light bulb moment. And I've had the most incredible career of over 22 years working in treatment rooms, helping people, helping animals, and building the most incredible business. I was born on the Isle of Wight. That's where I had my first businesses, on the Isle of Wight. I moved to Uganda 2007 and had practices and clinics in Uganda for a few years, then moved back to the Isle of Wight and had a wonderful time. I've run my own businesses for all that time, but there was just something that was missing, May. I love helping people. Anybody who's in a service-based industry, you know that what we actually really, the essence is we love to give, and no one can take that away. But within that giving, sometimes we forget about the things that make us us, and the things about us that we need our own little happiness pot to be to be filled. And we can get a lot of that from seeing other people's success. But sometimes we can give so much to other people that we forget to actually give to ourselves and meet the things that we really want to do. I think also as women, we spend so much time making sure that all our family and everyone else hit all their dreams and aspirations, forgetting that we're entitled to have our own. And there was this one nagging little itch of a dream that I have had for years. And as over the last probably the last 10 years, the itch just kept getting stronger. And I was like, mate, you need to do something about this.
Right. And this has got a huge amount to do with travel. And previously to all of this, you traveled the world, didn't you? You traveled.
I'd done my backpacking lifestyle. I'd done my solo travel. Loved traveling. I loved traveling on my own. I loved meeting new people, experience new cultures. I did the whole hostel backpack lifestyle, and I absolutely loved it. And I do have a bug for travel. So finding myself back on the Isle of Wight, which I love, I want to stress, I love, it's my home, but finding myself back doing the 9 to 5 or whatever shift I was doing, but doing that kind of rinse and repeat and thinking, is this it? Like, it's great, but is this it? Is this what all I'm going to do now until I retire, is get up and come to this treatment room? Whereas I was a closeted nomad, basically. Yeah. And the more I started getting to a point where I was like, I need to go. I'm feeling caged. I'm feeling really restricted. There's more of the world I need to go and see.
Yeah. And the thing is, you are a parent, you've got 2 gorgeous children. And when it comes to travel like that could be really expensive, like a really expensive thing to do. Like when we think about sort of world travel with a family, that's something you've got to, like, in my mind, when I've thought about that before, you've got to be rolling in it in order to make that happen. You've got to be earning like silly money in order to make that happen. But what you've created and the way that you've planned what you're doing right now, and just and just tell us in a second what it is that you're doing. You've actually created a lifestyle where you've transitioned into a lifestyle of travel as opposed to doing lots and lots of holidays. You've taken this sort of nomadic lifestyle and put your family with their consent. You've not just kind of gone to your family, right, off we pop now. Like, this is a real family affair that you're doing where you're circumnavigating the globe. This is what you're doing now.
We are doing it. So basically, this was my dream. So I said to my husband about 7 years ago, who at the time, by his own admission, was very institutionalized as a prison officer in his work, happy to be there till the end of his days. I said to him, look, I've got this thing. We only had one. I only had my daughter then. I've got this thing. I need to go and travel with my family on the road. My dream was to have a caravan or motorhome at the time. I didn't mind which, but to have a caravan and hit the road and just be completely free and liberated. I've never been into the hotel lifestyle. It's just not my thing. I'm like a pig in shit on a campsite. and you know, come rain or shine, I'm in my happiest place on a campsite. And kind of not moved out of the tent phase now. They still do it sometimes, but we love being our caravan lifestyle. And I was like, I have this dream to just hitch up and go, basically.
Yeah.
And hit the road and go and explore. And he just looked at me like, you're frigging insane.
As most people do. Like, who does that? Certainly, who does that with two young children? Yeah. Like, Rafe is tiny. He's only small.
Yeah. So he was just like, who does that? And then I had to say to him, look, this is like an itch. I don't think you understand how deeply embedded this is in me. And I really love you, but I need to tell you that at some point in the future, I may check out of our relationship because I need to do this, because one of my biggest fears in life is the fear of regret.
Right.
You know, I was like, I don't care if it ends up being a complete disaster, but I cannot get to whenever my time is up and go, I wish I'd done that. I have such a regret I didn't do it.
Yeah.
And I kind of had to say to him really brutally and say, like, because he follows the mantra, happy wife, happy life, which I think is great. And I said to him, at some point, I will not be happy and I may have to go and feed this. Okay.
Yeah.
So I parked it up for a bit, but still inside, didn't say too much because I had obviously freaked him out. Anyway, he had a fairly life-changing incident at work. Those of you who will know about prison life know that prison officers do experience way more awful stuff than we realize. So he had a fairly life-altering incident at the prison, which made him really reevaluate his whole life.
Right.
And that was his defining moment. That then, about 3 years ago, he said to me, you know, this dream, he said, let's make it happen. He was just
so he brought it back to you. So it wasn't something he wasn't henpecked into it.
No. He was like, we're going to do this. Let's do it. And so we did, but we sat there and went, well, you know what, right now, like you build fences and decking.
Yeah.
And I work in a treatment room.
How long ago was this conversation? Sorry. How long ago was this?
3 years ago when he said to me, let's do it. Okay. So Rafe was now 1.
Right.
Lani was 5. And so we sat down and said, well, we need to make a plan, because clearly we can't just hitch up and go. There has to be a plan in this, because we need to earn money. We need to earn money when we travel. We need to be able to support this. I haven't just won the lottery. How are we going to do this? There were logistics in place. And also I wanted Rafe to be older. I wanted him to have some memories of this trip, because like Lani's been to Uganda, Rafe's been to Uganda. Lani can remember bits of it. She's been loads of times. Rafe's been once. He hasn't got a flipping clue.
So if
and
we
I
just
need him to remember.
If we just kind of go back a second, so right at the beginning of the show, I was talking about showing up, wising up and rising up. So you as a family knew what your rising up situation was. And we're going to talk about Uganda in just a second as well, because I think that's a really important part of this story. So we've got this rising up situation. So you as a family have decided that you, at some point in the not too distant future, maybe when Rafe's a little bit old enough to remember these things, you are going to plan for you to, as a family, travel and work. And that's going to be what you guys are going to do. That's going to be a lifestyle choice that you guys make. So you've got your rise up situation. So this conversation is the beginning of your wise up situation. What do we need to do? what do we need? What logistically does this actually look like, right? So this is you kind of going through your learning, as well as all this, you guys. Just can I add that Nikki actually runs the most phenomenal charity over in Uganda, which again is something that you're doing whilst you're now on the road. This is something, you know, you'd be going over to Uganda very frequently in order to be running the charity. It's a phenomenal. I'll let you speak about it. But not only just so you can kind of really get a grasp of how phenomenal this human being is. So not only is she working in therapy and helping people with therapist businesses look after themselves and build their businesses, she's also running this phenomenal charity and building up everything that she wants to build up in order to live what it is that her truth is with her family. And I get goosebumps, Nix, when I think about just what you've achieved. When you've had your sights set on something, you've planned it, and then you've shown up for it, which I think, especially in the last 2 years, has been a real test of will. Been a real test.
It was a real test. And, you know, the first thing that we did was we made the decision that we were giving ourselves a 2-year plan, right? We made this a 2-year plan because, one, we wanted Rafe to be on board with this.
Yeah.
But secondly, we needed to revamp the entire business model. You know, my business in a treatment room couldn't come. I couldn't just, unfortunately, the restrictions with my type of work, I couldn't just rock out a treatment couch as I was going. And that wasn't what I wanted. I wanted quality time with my family. This was about my family as well as my dreams. So we sat down and said, right, what do we need to do? And I was like, well, I need to take my business online.
Right.
But the absolute first thing we did was we set a date. And that's one of the key things that I want to tell people. Whatever the hell your dream is, if you go, at some point, I want to do this, get rid of at some point, because at some point just never happens, right? And 5-10 years go by and you never did it. You know, you need to set the date. So
Yes.
2 years ago, we set April the 12th, 2021 as our leaving date.
Right.
And that was it. And then we had that deadline and we knew we had to get all our eggs in one basket and we had to sort ourselves out and no messing. That was the date. We needed to be ready to go. So then I needed to take my business online because I needed to be remote working. And one of the things that I've always loved to do is help people with their business. You know, I've had businesses in the health and wellness industry for over 22 years. Like, I help people, but I'd never monetized that. I'd never actually made that my business. So I did. So in 2019, I launched the Profitable Couch, which was my hub, like Dani's Hive. That's my baby, my hub for health and wellness professionals around the world. And I help them with all things business. And it tied in with all that experience, my whole bank manager stuff, and it completely tied in. And then from there, the Profitable Couch. So over the last couple of years, I had like my therapy, my own personal private therapy where it was here, and the Profitable Couch is here. And basically, I've spent the up until last week, up until the end of July, doing that.
And this, I just want to be really clear with everyone. This hasn't been easy. I was saying right at the beginning, excuse me, right at the beginning of the show, when you have aspirations and goals, in order to achieve them, unless they're very small and incremental, you have to be willing to do that which the normal person isn't willing to do in order to achieve it. Otherwise, you're just going to stay where you are. And what you have displayed, like as your friend, like watching you in the past couple of years, the tenacity, the grit, the sheer bloody mindedness, even when you were on your knees.
There's been tears, guys. Like, listen, like Dani's been on the receiving end of Nikki version of Snot Buddy going, oh my God, like it's just too much. Trying to build one business, trying to run one very business. And that point when that is doing that, you feel like you want to explode. You know what it's all about, but you can't let go of one because you've still got the mortgage, still got bills to pay. You can't let go of one until the other is established enough to go. And even though I knew why I was doing it, there were times when it was so hard and I'm like stressed to the hill, and you know, I can feel my health a little bit feeling challenged and I'm exhausted, but I'm every time, you know, and there'll be times I would be leaving voicemails to Dani and that going, and to my other mates just going like, I just need to vent. Like, I'm struggling. I know why I'm doing it, but right now I'm in a very challenging period of this transition, and I just need, like, just give me virtual hug.
Just hold a little bit of space for a second whilst I
Yeah.
just hold on to the wall, catch my breath, and then kind of step
Yeah.
back into the breach.
There was no reason that I was ever going to stop the journey, and I knew it was going to be hard. But at certain times, when you hit those little hurdles, there you have a choice. You either bail and go, "Oh yeah, I can't be asked. I'm going to give up," or you breathe your way through it. You reach out to the people that know you, who get you, understand what you're going through, have been there themselves, know what your mission is in your journey, and you reach out and you say, "Right now, can I just go?" And then, you know, there's times I'd say to Dani, I'd be there and I'd have my little, and then afterwards, just like snotting it out, she holding a space or someone else holding a space. And then I'd go, okay, that one's out now. We can crack on.
We can crack back on. Just that little pause, the hand against the wall, the catching of the breath. Because the thing, I mean, especially within the therapy space, like in your practice, you went from into lockdown as soon as you was being a medical healthcare professional, you went straight back into clinic and was thrown into PPE and being with chiropractor. Being a chiropractor specifically, you know, it is an energy exchange. It is therapy. And I think having, especially, it was really hot at the beginning of the last one as well. And I remember you sending me pictures of you in your PPE and your mascara's down your face and you're just sweating and you just sweat, like you've literally sweat to get to D-Day, which, you know, ironically, you went to where the D-Day ladders were just a few days ago. And I thought it was really ironic that you got to D-Day, Drive Day, Dream Day, whatever you want to call it, to level that up. So I think that the key bits here for you guys watching is that setting that date is really, really important, because otherwise it's ambiguous, it's open-ended. And that's equally overwhelming and suffocating as being really tightly bound by a deadline. And then the next one is that it is not a straight line when you make these decisions. You were thrown some serious curveballs, lockdown. Your husband worked very well. There was lots of things.
Loads of stuff. And the thing is, I think it's all about also whether life will chuck challenges at you and you get a choice to let them knock you down, or how can you turn them into positives. Like the first lockdown when the clinic closed, I was like, oh shit. Like, I was the main income. I was like, luckily, in one respect, I had 8 weeks out before all the powers that be at the top level with my work got all their stuff together so that we could go back into clinic quite quickly. Yes, PPE'd up. But I sat there and I had 2 months when I wasn't in clinic, and I was like, well, I can either just sit on my backside and mope, or I've been now given 2 months. You know, I'm trying to build a business and bring one down. Right. You've now got 2 months where you can't do a great deal with the first one. You can do a hell of a flipping lot with the second one. Right. What can I achieve in those 2 months to really ramp this a bit quicker? And that's, you know, that's where the podcast, that's where the membership, everything started coming in. I was like, do you know what? Flip it. What can I achieve in this lockdown? Not what can't I achieve in this lockdown?
Where are the possibilities here? What am I learning here?
So I look back. So some people will look back on that first lockdown and go, that was a period it was horrific for me. Yeah. I look back on that and say that could have been horrific for me, but you know what? I made a different choice. I made a choice to make it a positive experience. And I look back now and go, that was the best flipping time ever for me.
Mm-hmm. And that's not, you know, not to say that people out there haven't struggled, but there is this, we talk about, you know, bees not caring what humans think is impossible, bees fly anyway. There is this decision that many of us have, not everybody, but many of us have when it comes to being tenacious, taking back your birthright of that happiness, that peace, that wealth, whatever it is for you guys that are watching at home, that there is a decision to be made. Just like I made the decision to start showing up every day for the show at Rise Up show, similar position to you, showing up every day for your community and helping when your community been thrown the biggest curveball, they couldn't practice anymore. They couldn't, they didn't know when they were going to get back there. Their income had just fallen through the floor. So, you know, they were holding on for dear life. Yeah.
I just sat there and went, these people need me. They need direction.
Right.
You set up this group to provide direction and guidance. Get out there and provide direction and guidance and help them. And it was completely instrumental to be able to grow that side of my business and push me much closer to what I wanted to do. And so, you know, eventually as we got through to July, so as we're getting now closer to January of this year, and it became very, very apparent, you know, the dream is still on, April the 12th still been there, but we get to January and we're now in another big lockdown. And Ian and I had to sit there and go, you know what, we ain't going anywhere in April. But instead of going, well, we'll just see what happens, we've got to have another date, babe. We have to have another date. 10th of September. We were like, let's write off the summer. Let's not faff around. 10th of September. So we instantly, it was gutting. I mean, on the 12th of September, Ian and I rose a drink. On the 12th of April, sorry, we had a little drink and went, well, we were meant to be going today. It wasn't meant to be. That wasn't what the universe had in store for us. Let's keep now working towards the 10th of September. And then on the 22nd of July, I finally left the treatment room, and, you know, and I closed the door. Who knows whether, you know, I go back into the treatment room, but for now I closed the door on that particular chapter to go and put my head straight forward now into this adventure for the 10th of September.
And it's just phenomenal. So you got there, you got everything that you needed. And so you've had to, so as part of your wising up, you've had to think about a number of things, not just sort of the vehicle. You know, you guys are on the road, so you've got to be mechanic. You've got to know where your pit stops are going to be. You've got to know how you're going to school the kids. Like, this is an indefinite thing that you're doing. You don't have a date on which you've got a date on which to leave so that you're traveling, not a date on which to come back. So with that in mind, you've got the schooling of Lonnie and Rafe to consider. How have you managed that? Because you thought there was going to be this settling in period, and actually you've just got straight in there. What does that look like for you now then?
So we are currently in France, and so this is Vinny. I will tell you about Vinny now. So Vinny is my van, who I just want to tell you, I'm completely in love with my van. He is a very old van. He's a 2007 Mercedes Vito. I'm not in any kind of flash thing, but he's a big extra long wheelbase van. And behind me, you can't see out the back there, is our caravan, Susie. And together as a family, we travel under Life in a Can, which was like this really cool kind of umbrella thing to be able to celebrate and talk about our journey.
So you've created a travel blog off of the back of this as well, like a family travel blog.
We've created our Facebook, Instagram, everything to try and keep people involved who are interested in what we're doing, and it's all under Life in a Can. So currently we came over to France on Saturday. We're currently in Caen, and we came over to Dieppe. We're on a campsite in near, just outside Caen, and we gave ourselves a week here to get set up. We had a plan of how we wanted it to look, but actually we're set up. So we're moving. We're off this afternoon. We're moving on down the country this afternoon. So our basic routine is morning times. We have our own 3 designated spaces. So I have my office in Vinny. I'm here with you now. We've got everything is solared up. We're not on to any plug-in at all. The whole caravan is fully solared. The van is fully solared. That was a really cool bit of my learning of the logistics. So I'm talking to you now completely by the sun, and in my desk. So this is my office. So in the mornings, this is my space, and then in the evenings when I'm doing evening trainings with all my guys in the Profitable Couch, etc. Lani is currently next door in the caravan doing her schooling. So we learned one thing we did learn in lockdown again, which helped us with our planning, is that we can't be her homeschool teachers. No. We are not teachers. We're mum and dad. There is no way in the world. It was so much conflict. I was like, that's never going to work. But it was an experience that I valued having to know that it wouldn't work. So she's on live online school. So she checks in with her live online school every morning, choice of timetables, which is phenomenal. It took me a while to find it, but I did. So she goes on. She's now in breakout rooms with kids from China, from India, from the UAE. She's like gone international on her live schooling. So she's in there doing her year 5 British curriculum right now. Rafe would be going into reception right now. So Ian's job, we have our allocated jobs. Ian's job in the morning is working with Rafe, teaching him stuff, doing maths and phonics, taking him on bike rides. They had power tools out yesterday, so, boy stuff. So they're doing boy stuff out in the awning and out and about. And in the mornings, basically, we have our 3 separate places. And then in the afternoons, we go and do our family time and explore. So we got here Saturday. Sunday was getting shopping and food and everything. Monday was the new routine. So we've done it for 2 days, and we just went, oh my God, we've just slotted it together like a jigsaw puzzle, which is why we can crack on.
This
So
is great planning. This is, off of the back of great planning.
I want to let you know, I am a Virgo, recovering perfectionist. It does come I do enjoy this stuff. So yesterday afternoon, after we'd finished study time and work time, we got the bikes. We went off into down to the Normandy, the D-Day landings, cycled all along, paid our respects, talked about history, talked to the kids all about what this meant, because there's so much more you can learn as well, out in the world. And then so that was Monday. Then yesterday, we went into Bayer. We went to see the Bayer tapestry. Lani and I went to see the tapestry because she's studying Anglo-Saxons there. So it was the tail end.
So you went to just go and see the Bayer tapestry?
Just because I've wanted to. So when I was a kid, I had this little fold-out paper one, right?
I saw your post about it.
I know. And I used to take this to school. I didn't really know what it was, but it was so cool that every show and tell, I was like, I've got this. And I remember the teachers thinking it was really cool. So clearly it was really cool. So it was a little bit of a pride and joy. Obviously, as I got older, I realised what it meant. So it had a little poignant bit of my childhood, the Bayer tapestry. And I got to be honest, I got a bit emotional yesterday because I was like, what's the real one?
It's not a bit of paper in my pocket. It is actually dead cool.
It was, but I wasn't allowed to take pictures in there. So I had to grab a picture quick while I was waiting for my little audio. And then you can see this bit of it, because I was like, I just need a little bit of it. And then we had these headphones and we went and learnt this whole story. Phenomenal. If you've never been, phenomenal. And then we went over to the Bayer War Memorial, where we were told by one Rafe's preschool teacher a couple of days ago that her uncle was there in the war cemetery, and they've never been able to get there and visit, but it's something she wanted to do. And so we arrived yesterday. We didn't tell her we were going to go. We just said we were hoping to go. So we got there yesterday. We went and got flowers. We wrote a little card out. We had roughly his plot, because a war memorial is huge. Yeah. It's incredibly overwhelming, completely humbling. And we found him, and we put flowers down with a little card from her. And then I video messengered her live, and I said, are you all right? And she was like, yeah. I said, I've got something to show you. And I flipped the camera, and we were there. I was in bits. She was in bits.
Oh my God.
But it was so real when you can go to these places and feel there's a connection with a person there, we were able to. And then I did some film for her mum, because it's her mum's brother and stuff. And we talked about it. So in 2 days, we've done schooling, we've done work, we've done all this educational stuff. And I sat here yesterday on Monday for my first day in my office, and I had the back door open of the van. It's a little bit damp today, hence I've shut it down and for the sound for here. But I had my back door open, and Ian came around with a cup of tea, and I just said to him, I went, babe, we're really doing this. And right now, I literally could burst.
My cheeks are hurting.
Burst, because I know that my choice and our choices of life, that the kids are like, we love this. They're so happy because they're getting quality time with us in the afternoon, and we're having designated time for work. And I feel all my whole shoulders, everything just goes.
Considering how tightly you've held on.
We have held on 2.5 years through Brexit, which has brought its own number of challenges, which is a whole nother story, won't bother you with now. But and the pandemic, thinking, oh my God, can we do this? And we're doing it. I am living my dream. I had this dream. I talked about it. The itch got stronger, and we sat down and we said, how can we make this happen? I do not want this to be a dream. I want this to be my reality. And I'm sat in my old van right now with my coffee, chatting with you, Dan, with my kids doing their stuff, and literally I'm like,
it's really hard not to get emotional when I'm having this conversation with you, because I know just how hard you've worked for it. And it's beautiful that, as a member of the I Am the Queen Bee community, as somebody who, we've worked really closely together, to see you doing it is such an inspiration for me. People say this to me all the time, especially with the, from being homeless to living in the house that I was living in, the areas that I was living in, to buying the house that I have now. Often when I talk about that, people say, oh God, that's so inspiring. And actually, like, you're that for me. Like, to see how tenacious you've been, to see how much you've held on, you've kept that vision really, really clear, unwavering in your mind, even on the darkest of days. And this is for all of you that are listening out there. This is what I want you to take away from it. Get really effing clear on what it is that you want. If you can't work out what the big things are, work out what the little things are
Little
first.
things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get a little bit of momentum. Start hitting some of those little things. The big things will start to come once you realize that the little things happen
Yeah.
when you utilize this way of thinking. When
And
you
it is
utilize
having
this,
control
yeah.
over your focus as well, because like I had this end goal. The end goal was this. And like you say, at times life veered me off here and then it veered me off here. And it was like every time I kept staying true to my north. Do you know what I mean? It's like, okay, you've taken me over here and now I need to get back here. And then you're going to take me over there. I need to get back, and to always not lose sight of the end goal, knowing that it isn't a straight line. But as long as you just keep bringing yourself back to that direction, it may be that you hit it quicker than you think. It may be that it takes longer. It might take 5 years, 10 years. But if at the end of it, you know, I'm a great believer. I watch these documentaries and stuff about people whose life is coming to an end. You know, it doesn't matter whether they're younger or older, and they're able to have that period of reflection. If it's because of chronic illness or whatever's happened to them, they're sitting there. And when you listen to what these people talk about, they talk about, I wish I hadn't focused on these things. I wish I'd focused on the basics of happiness and being with my family and actually fulfilling my dreams and doing all this stuff. I wish I'd done that. And I feel like we need to, for those people that haven't, you know, all of us, I'm sure we've lost people that didn't get to realize their true potential. And I feel like I am so damn lucky to be here on this earth, healthy and well, and that I owe it to the people that don't get to do this stuff to not take what I have for granted, the opportunities that I have for granted, and to flipping make something of my life and inspire my kids and inspire other people as well to say, do you know what? If you want it, stop saying it's my dream, make it that goal with a deadline, you know, as they say, isn't it? And make it happen. And set your plan in action.
Absolutely. And again, just to kind of reiterate to those of you that, I mean, everyone that's watching this morning is sort of listening with their jaws on the floor and just really sort of in awe of how incredible you are, Nix. And just to, as well as this, the
Stubbornly
charity
determined, I think,
is stubbornly determined, absolutely. And it's something that, you know, is a big part of who I am, stubbornly determined. I think it's one of the reasons why we do get on as well as what we do. But you know, this legacy piece that you have, this being an inspiration not just to your kids, but you know, as part of the work that you do within your charity in Uganda. Tell us a little bit more about that just before we go, just so people can find out a little bit more about Chrysalis.
So back in 2007, I went traveling. One of my traveling trips was around Africa, and when I just happened to be in Uganda, the universe was just completely aligned. There was something about that country where I just knew I was in the right place. I met some people. I felt really drawn to knowing that I had the skills and skill set and the desire to be able to help. And so I came back and set up a charity in 2008. And since then, I've been working out in Uganda. Then I moved out for a few years and then I came back. And now I work back and forth between now, wherever I am, but from the UK and Uganda. So I have a primary school out there. We do mosquito net distribution projects. And then my real little baby as well is Chrysalis Uganda, which basically funds women living in the slums to start their own businesses through microfinance and vocational training. So we've done hundreds of women now. It's just my little baby. I don't have a big team. I have one lady out in Uganda who directs my school, and we kind of work as a team. I run it all from my laptop or being out there on the ground. And right now we're just wrapping up my 2021 cohort, which is a huge thing for me, because last year we couldn't run this particular cohort because of the lockdown situation, and this year we've battled to make sure we can do it, where I've been teaching. We've had a group of ladies who have been learning sewing and tailoring since January, so they've been coming through a full educational program, and then they're just about to wrap up. Then they go into the microfinancing side, so if they've met all their learnings for that to be able to be skilled tailors and seamstresses, then we will microfinance them to buy them their own sewing machine and all their equipment and everything they need to get started, to start running their own businesses. And so that's my absolute little personal passion, because my own history and personal journey growing up is very much around empowering women, and it taps into the business side. So I'm very much about empowering women through business to be independent and free, and making choices about their life, and also to inspire their own families that they could break the cycle of poverty.
And I don't think there's anything else that I could. That's it. It's just really casual. Just really casual. What it is that you're doing.
It's my little baby.
Nikki, I've already said, like, to be connected, just connected with you, let alone like a friend, a close friend, a loving friend. I couldn't be more proud of you. I'm so grateful that fate threw us together. I'm so grateful that fate threw us together to have this conversation this morning. Thank you for sharing your story. It has been, so inspirational for those that have been watching, those that are catching up on the replay. If people do want to follow your travels with your family and connect with you more, how do we do that?
So that would be great if anyone wants to see. So on Facebook, our page is at Life in a Can, and on Instagram, it's _Life in a Can.
Fantastic. Please do go and follow Nikki and her family as they navigate their next part of their journey. They are amazing as a family, the most beautiful hearts. Nikki, I love you so much. Thank you for being on the show this morning.
Thank you so much for having me, guys.
So that is Nikki Collinson-Phenix, everybody. An emotional, inspirational show this morning. And for those of us that are catching, those of you that are catching us on LinkedIn for the first time, or maybe have come across the show for the first time, that's the quality of guests that you can expect. Come and check back in with us on a Monday and a Friday on Facebook at the Queen Bee Dani, or of course on LinkedIn at the Queen Bee Dani for Wise Up Wednesdays, where we'll bring more phenomenal guests. We've got Talk Radio's Johnny Seifert joining us next week, talking about the Badass Women's Hour that he produces, and the incredible things that he gets up to in the world of radio. So please do come and join us for that next week. That's 9:30 on Wednesday on LinkedIn and Facebook. But we will be back on Friday at 9:30 to celebrate the week. So if you've enjoyed today, if you've got some goals that you want to smash out today, come and join us and celebrate with us at 9:30 on Friday on Facebook at the Queen Bee Dani. Also, if you don't already follow me on Instagram, there's loads more content happening over there as well, depending on which platforms you prefer to hang out on. So it's at the Queen Bee Dani across the socials. And also, I have my free community, the IATQB Hive, that you can find on Facebook, where it is a phenomenal network where we help each other show up, wise up, and rise up. Coming up at the end of this month, we have Be Inspired. I don't think I've said it enough, but it is my personal and business development event that is happening on the 30th of September, 1st of October in Manchester at The Impossible. We are also streaming it in a TV quality style Zoom link that you can watch at home as well. So you can either get online tickets or in the Reels tickets. All you've got to do is go to imthequeenbee.co.uk/events. Go and grab your ticket and let me know in my DMs if you are coming along. I'd love to see you there. In the meantime, enjoy your Wednesday. It is not hump day. It's the highlight of the week for me. I implore you to go out and go and rip it up. And I hope this has been really inspirational for you this morning, as it has been for me. You guys, you're amazing. I love you. And I'll see you all on Friday for Rising Up. See you later.